Welcome everybody. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Canon 80D compared to the Panasonic G7 compared to the EOS M from Canon. So we've got two Canons versus a Panasonic. Now in the methodology here, we're going to be running the Lumix, the EOS M, and the 80D on automatic white balance. And I will be color grading them at the beginning so there's a consistency, and then I'll break apart and show you what each camera thinks the appropriate white balance is based on an automatic color card here. So here we go. We're going to go right in and we're going to start with the EOS M. So here's the EOS M. That's what it thinks about the quality. The Panasonic G7. That's what the Panasonic thinks the appropriate exposure and white balance are. And the Canon 80D. Okay, so that's what they think about the color. As far as quality goes, the Canon 80D, more megapixels, 24.2, APS-C sensor, whereas the Panasonic G7 is a micro four thirds. So I think it's APS-H. I know it's 16 point something megapixels. It's not as high as the 80D, and it is higher, I believe, than the EOS M Mk, the first gen. As far as the quality goes, the EOS M can only do 30 frames a second. I believe the Panasonic G7 is doing 60 frames a second, and the 80D is also doing 60 frames a second at 1080p. Now, where the Panasonic shines is it does do 4K. The 80D does not. Now, it's kind of a shame on Canon for not including that in the camera. It's just one of those weird things that, who knows, maybe it's just they wanted to make a camera from 5 years ago that would have been the perfect camera 5 years ago. I don't know, just a guess. Beyond that, what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit and then I'll switch between the onboard mics. Even though really nobody should be using an onboard mic with these, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're going to talk about the Panasonic G7. Offering true recording versatility, the black Panasonic Lumix DMC G7 is a true hybrid mirrorless camera that blends 4K UHD video with advanced still capture and burst shooting capabilities. That's the onboard. Now let's go ahead and dive into the Panasonic because I'm sick of freaking looking at myself on two different flip out screens. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of a hands-on here with the Panasonic Lumix. One of the cool things about the Panasonic G7 is it does include the lens hood. Now, if you're not familiar with what a lens hood does, it helps keep light from hitting the front element on the glass and causing hazing, kind of like a glare across your image. And I have them on all of my cameras. Now, most lenses will be, if you buy like a Sigma, I think Tamron and some of the third-party lenses, they do include the lens hood. But it was nice that Panasonic put that in with the camera, with the kit lens. Now the kit lens isn't too bad. It's got optic stabilization. It's not a very fast lens. I think it's 3.5. Let me check the specs. Yeah, 3.5 to 5.6. Again, it varies as you zoom. The lens that's running on my EOS M, on my 80D is a 17 to 50 Sigma 2.8 the whole way through. So that's a fast lens, very nice lens, good glass too. But for a kit lens, it's kind of standard. 3.5 to 5.6 is kind of your standard. You're not going to find most kit lenses that are down to 2.8 on them. Now, some of the cool things about this camera that I really dig, it's super light. I mean, even compared to the EOS M, it's very light. Now, I'm not sure if the body's made out of plastic. Let me see if I can find that right now. Because if the body's plastic, that would explain a whole lot. It is plastic, so that is something that I don't dig about it. I do like the rubberized grip. It is comfortable, it's ergonomic. There's buttons absolutely everywhere on this thing. Right here you got a dial on the top. Right here you got a dial. And the screen is a flip out screen. Look at that. Just like my 80D. It does have a pop-up flash. And it has a LCD viewfinder. Since it's not an SLR with the pentaprism in it and you're not looking through it, you don't have that. So you have to use a viewfinder, which isn't bad. A few things I like about the G7. Compact, very lightweight because it's plastic construction. Has HDMI out, a microphone in, a hot shoe, pop-up flash, lens hood's included, like I said. The kit lens isn't bad, it's optic stabilized. Lots of features, lots of functions. Oh yeah, and of course the flip out screen makes it great for shooting vlogs, videos, things like that for YouTube. It's not a bad idea to have that. Some of the things I really dislike about this camera. Number one, 30-minute recording time, which may not sound like a big deal, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to be limited to 30 minutes, let's be honest. Thing number two, plastic body. I really wish it was magnesium for the price. My EOS M is magnesium bodied. It's not weather resistant, but it is magnesium bodied, which makes the camera feel a little bit heavier, but it instills confidence that you're not going to break it. This thing is, with the battery in it, is super light. I mean, you know, ungodly light, let's be honest. Which may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. To me, it's a bad thing. It doesn't instill confidence in the camera. Now, it's a Panasonic, and they make pretty good camera stuff, or camera equipment. I wouldn't say that they're bad in any stretch of the imagination. It's just having a plastic-bodied camera, to me, is basically the biggest difference back in the day between like a 10D and a Rebel, you know, from Canon. Go with the 10D. It's magnesium bodied. It's going to be more rugged, more durable, you know. If any of you have watched any of Casey Neistat's videos, I'm sure you have because he's super popular, but he has an 80D or multiple 70Ds and 80Ds, and the thing he always breaks on it is the flip out screen, which I think if you're not a caveman running around with a camera on a gorilla pod while skateboarding around and doing things like that, I don't think the flip out screen would ever break. But on this, since it's plastic, that would be a pretty common failure point. I could see that being an issue, so loses some points there. The autofocusing system isn't the most accurate. I've noticed that it's a little slow with the kit lens, and it's not dead on. The other things about it, the white balance system tends to be biased more towards warmer tones versus being more balanced towards, you know, 18% gray or accurate white balance. That's kind of a bummer, but again, you can fix it in post, so it's not that big of a deal. Price, $600. My 80D, I think, was $1,200 body only, and then the lens that's on here, I believe, is a $500 or $600 lens. Not super expensive, but you know, the kit together, $2,000. It's, you know, I do a lot of photography, so it's easy to swallow that amount of money. However, if you're looking at buying the Panasonic here, it's a great camera if you can get a deal on it, like my buddy did. I'm not gonna knock it. It's very, very good. The biggest thing I can see being a detriment to it, really, is for the price. I mean, I know it does 4K, that's cool, but you're limited to 30 minutes. The white balance, like I said, is biased towards warmer tones, which can be easily fixed. You know, it's not really a big con, but it's just a little thing, so I'm just laying out all the little things here for you. It's a micro four thirds camera. You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's $600, like $598. It's expensive. If you're looking for a 4K budget camera, the G7 is a killer deal. For $600 retail, you know, it'll do 4K, and it's a decent still camera. It's not as high as the M3 from Canon, but the Canon M3 does do better still pictures. So the EOS M3 has basically a similar image sensor to what the 80D's got. Where it falls short is in processing power. The EOS M3 can only do, you know, 1080p at 30 frames a second. That's kind of a shitty thing, but it is what it is. And it is $50 cheaper. So you'd think that Canon, they just have this thing against higher frame rates and, you know, 4K and budget cameras, which is really unfortunate because it could be dominating the market. But anyways, this camera, definitely a must buy if you want to get into more video stuff, videography, vlogs, things like that. You could run and gun with this thing all day long. It's super light. As far as a mic system on it, like I said, it is a hot shoe, and it does have a microphone mount or microphone in on it. So, you know, something like the Rode Video Micro here, if you wanted to have a little run and gun system that's real lightweight, the Video Micro here you know, that's a good system, a good setup right here. You could run and gun with this all day. Since the camera's plastic, it doesn't weigh anything, and you're ready to go. Beyond that though, there's not much I can fault the camera on other than what I've already stated. For the price, I feel it's a little bit expensive, but if you can get a deal on it like my buddy did, go for it. That's a bargain. I think at 350 bucks or whatever he got it for, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's a good deal. Definitely check out his channel, Coalition Gaming. He'll be doing vlogs and reviews and tech talk things with that. And if you've enjoyed this video or you found it informative, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. This is Homebrewed Hero. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.